Welcome to RPG TV, where Red Pill meets gaming. I'm your host, RPG, and of course, we got my co-host with us.
Bandikoot, rain.
And introducing
Miss Rosie.
Hey. Clap.
Thanks for having me.
I can't clap enough, so I'm just leave it alone. Maybe we'll do that.
What's that?
Amazon. There's a show on there called Swarm by Donald Glover.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, you want to talk about Swarm?
Well, I was just reading that Donald Glover criticized for comments about Swarm star Dominique Fishback. Where he made a comment comparing her character in the show to being like a dog and like an animal that he doesn't trust. Because I mean, obviously she's a murderer in the show. Anyways, everybody always uptight about something.
Read the article. Let's find out what what's talking about. Let's get into it.
Okay.
Let y'all take over tonight.
Donald Glover criticized for comments about Swarm star Dominique Fishback. Donald Glover made a lot of internet users upset upon the discovery of his comments about Swarm star Dominique Fishback. The 39-year-old admitted to intentionally not preparing her for her role and encouraging her to act like an animal. I kept telling her, you're not regular people. You don't have to find the humanity in your character. That's the audience job, the director told Vulture in an interview published on March 21st. In the limited series, the 32-year-old actor plays Dre, a young woman who is obsessed with a pop star that is meant to resemble Beyonce and allows her fandom to make her violent. Have y'all watched the trailer for the show?
I watched all 7 episodes.
You watched all 7 already?
Yes, my wife jumped on that shit quick, bro.
Okay, did you watch the first episode with her or by yourself?
No, she turned it on. Like I woke up and she had it on.
Y'all seen Bailey getting clapped together.
Bruh. I wanted to watch that shit by myself. Yo, listen. There was a lot of controversy being talked about. There was a lot of controversy.
Getting clapped.
Yeah. So today I did an article, or I read an article, and I think it was the New York Post or TMZ. I think it may have been TMZ. But they were talking about the colorism and her scene and how Halle Berry got clapped up in Monsters Ball and how it may have catapulted her career. She got an Oscar for it because she fits the European model of beauty. And I'm like, y'all are pushing that shit.
I don't understand what any of that had to do with anything.
Exactly.
I'm so confused.
Well, I think that people they looked at the Bailey sisters as these two squeaky clean image kind of females. Because if you look at Halle Bailey, she's very very, very clean. You know, you don't see her perusing around in risque clothing and shit like that. Whereas her sister is, but
Chloe a city girl.
Chloe
a city girl.
Chloe cheeked up though, bro. Oh my god, I thought that was some old shit because the way it was filmed, I knew it was a Donnie Glover film because it looked just like ATL. The way it was shot, I was like, yo, he had to have something to do with this. And then when I watched the credits, of course his name popped up. So yeah, but that's a new show. And look, Chloe, I know my wife is a fan of Chloe Bailey, but I'm a fan too, goddamn.
I'm a fan. I am a fan. I must admit.
I could have sworn they was twins for the longest, though.
Me too. I used to call them twins. I just say, we talking about the twins? Yeah, they ain't even twins, bro.
I had no idea. They're 2 years apart.
All right, so Boosie Badass and Chief Keef, Tekashi 6ix9ine's gym beating is one big laughing matter. Says this TMZ report, and it goes on to say that Tekashi 6ix9ine's enemies are rejoicing in the fact he was savagely beaten inside a gym sauna, with Boosie Badass and Chief Keef both leading the LOL charge. Boosie pounces at the chance to target all snitching activity within rap and called for the start of a GoFundMe account for 6ix9ine's still unidentified attackers. So he says in his tweets, laughing my ass off, snitches get stitches. The Louisiana rapper beamed on Twitter while sharing the video before adding, real ones deserve to be rewarded. Then it goes on to say Chief Keef also found the situation humorous, amassing over 1 million views with his reaction to 6ix9ine's attack with a pair of laughing emojis. Unlike Boosie, the Chicago drill pioneer has a direct beef with Tekashi. Kentea Kuda B. McKenzie, a former associate of the rainbow-haired rapper, was released from prison early on March 17th. So, it says Kuda pleaded guilty to the assault with a deadly weapon and an old racketeering for his connection to the 2018 Chief Keef shooting attempt in Times Square in 2020. And Almighty Sosa obviously hasn't forgotten about it. So this is why he found it. I guess this is why he found it funny. TMZ broke the story. Tekashi was rushed to the hospital after the gym ambush, and his attorney, Lance Lazaro, tells us he's currently exploring federal protection options. So the way I look at this here, I mean, you heard what Boosie said. He first and foremost, you already heard him getting that TI for his little situation and snitching and shit. So Boosie's just going after. He said he's going after anybody. His anti-snitch campaign. So he's going after everybody. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't think this attack was related to because like I said earlier and what I posted earlier, it seemed like those guys seem older. They didn't seem like no young guys. They seemed like they came from an older generation. Like Tekashi is like what, 25, 24.
They don't even look like they train at that gym.
Well, that's why I would think that they are some type of gang members, because it seems to me like
Calculated.
gangs, or like original gangs, are kind of more like older generation.
That's
think.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
They more older, depending on then if Tekashi or whatever his name is, if he turned in the younger guys, now then the older guys above them may have came.
But see, that sounds like to me that sounds like structure. See, I think in the old days gangs was a little bit more structured. Today they ain't got no leader, they ain't got no structure, they don't have they just
depending on which gang though.
Yeah, like I think the Latin, like mostly Latino gangs, and then you got like the Italian mafia. Like those people are organized. Even cartels are organized to a degree, but black street gangs are the most. Today's street gangs, there's no fucking order.
They look like they're related of some.
Yeah, they kind of look Latino. They look Latino or something. Because when I looked at them, I'm like, these niggas ain't black. I thought they was black at first, but nah, they look like they may have been like Puerto Rican or Dominican or Mexican or something.
I don't know about 6ix9ine. I have to put the shame on 6ix9ine though, because he out there knowing that it's a butt ton of people who don't like him.
Yes.
He just out there just chilling.
Without security. Stupid move. That's
like at least one. At least just have somebody to watch your back. Don't just be out there by yourself, dog. Yeah, you already know you got enemies.
Especially you done snitch.
Yeah,
right.
Like, and that's why I said it seemed like those guys were probably like older. That took that shit serious. Mm-hmm. They take snitching serious. Exactly. And they just was like, yo, he needed to get his ass beat. Ain't nobody did it.
Right.
Fuck it. We gonna take it upon ourselves to show him some OG love and beat these niggas' ass.
He been going to that gym for a while though, and somebody the word done got out, because they came in, like you see on the camera when they walk up in there, they walk straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? They already know where Brett at, and they go straight to him. So it's probably Brett right there on the phone. It's probably wait, hold on.
Yeah.
It's a dude, when they walk in on the camera, they three gonna walk in the line. You see a dude sitting right there on his phone, like looking. Right.
Yeah.
It's probably him. He
Four
probably
planes hijacked on 9/11.
If you snitch, you can't be out there living life like a regular non-snitch person.
Going to the gym.
Right, going to the
if
gym.
If you don't work out at home.
Money, boy, if you get the damn gym, what you in the sauna? You getting stomped out in the sauna. Nigga, if you don't put no sauna in your backyard, boy. A treadmill,
if you don't go in that bathroom and turn that hot water on.
Yeah. That's just goofy though. That's not even a smart move.
It wasn't. I mean, I don't know what he should have did, but he shouldn't have did that.
Yeah, and there was three of them. Them dudes don't look. They ain't small. They ain't little dudes.
The one who was stomping him was a big dude. He stomped him right in the chest.
And then the other dude kicked him right in his fucking face.
But I ain't no way I can just sit there and let somebody slap it.
But here's what's fucked up about the fan, right? He goes, yo, I'm a fan. It's like, yeah, nigga, you recorded me get my ass beat. You ain't gonna fucking call 911. That's the fucking problem with people today too. Yeah, I think that's a problem.
Watch your man get whooped.
Yeah, that's a problem with people today too, because it's like more people are apt to put their phone up to watch a shit show
To get a
rather than get help. Because everything is about clout nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Everything seems like it's about clout.
Oh my God, she just stabbed that man. Oh my God, I'm gonna put this in the news. She keeps stabbing him. Oh my God, she won't stop.
He's dying.
He's dying. Somebody call 911 while I record this stabbing.
Wait a minute, I gotta go live.
Exactly.
I seen a video like that though. It's real sad though. It's real sad. People are quick to pull them phones out, but instead of like respond.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's the remedy for that though. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's rough
Because
out
you
here.
know a lot of people get paid if they got exclusive content on a subject matter. Like I know they were like when it came to the whole Andrew Tate thing, they were just trying to get anybody that would go against him, any of those females, they were trying to get any of them to go against him, and they would just they'll try to give you $50,000 if you had some shit on a motherfucker, and that's how a lot of this shit goes. So if you somebody that got exclusive footage, then shit, that's a payday. That's a payday.
I ain't never heard of this woman named Ruby Rose. But I just seen her hot shots on TMZ.
Yeah.
Gosh, you do better though. I mean, you got that ass whooping, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody else out there who wanna run up since they seen you get stomped out once.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Now everybody want to try him.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna try him.
Hopefully he don't make the same mistake twice. But maybe he don't got as much money as he like to flaunt. Then she should have a gym at his own damn house.
He got some fucking money.
If you got that much money, it don't cost. I don't know how much it costs to build a gym, but I'm pretty sure you should be able to afford it.
I'm sure he probably does.
Maybe he just wanted to socialize.
That's definitely a possibility. I mean, socialization, being around other people, and then just you gotta also remember too, what comes with the culture is people trying their best to not look like a bitch or whatever, because it's like a flex to say, nigga, I'm out without security, but that's so fucking stupid. Like you shouldn't be like that. I haven't seen. When the fuck have you seen Leonardo DiCaprio walk up or
Does he got money like Leonardo DiCaprio?
Hell no.
Maybe he don't have the money.
But that's what I'm saying.
No, but it ain't about the money. It ain't about the money.
I mean, security every day.
The fame is
All
what.
day?
The fame is what gets you the recognition. Money is just a byproduct. The fact that people know who Tekashi is, you can't miss him.
Right.
You know who he is. So, I mean, that's what makes him a target.
Hey, is that goofy ass motherfucker Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Yeah, that's what makes him a
Yeah,
target.
he got 7 colors in his hair. That's him, bro. He got 6'9" on his forehead. That's gotta be him.
And on his earlobe.
So, yeah.
Oh no, man.
But I want to get into this article. What was it? Let me pause this shit. Blue State University holds segregated graduation celebrations, the Daily Caller reports. A public university in Michigan promoted several graduation celebrations that are organized based on students' race, according to the university website. Grand Valley State University will hold 5 graduation celebrations to recognize students in several different groups its website promotes. The celebration, which are held in addition to the university's large commencement ceremony, are offered for Asian, Black, Latino, A and X, LGBTQIA+, and Native American graduates under the leadership of our volunteer faculty, staff, associates or associations, and with student organizations. Grand Valley hosts graduation celebrations annually designed to honor our diverse graduates, aligned with university commitments to building a culture of educational equity, the university told the Daily Caller News Foundation. For most, these more
Bro,
intimate...
What the fuck? Why are you still even reading that bullshit?
Because
why?
no. It says for most, these intimate celebrations are a complement to GVSU's traditional commencement. While each celebration provides learning opportunities to specific communities, all activities are open to all students and employees. The majority of graduating students who participate in one of our affinity group graduation celebrations also choose to participate in our large commencement ceremony. Wow, it goes on The Asian graduation celebration will be held April 19th, and the lavender graduation celebration intended for the LGBTQIA plus students
What
will be
happened
held
to
on
rainbow? Now they
What is
taking lavender.
LGBTQIA?
nigga lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer.
Okay. What's another shit?
And all of the above.
I think that's I don't know if it's intersectionality and asexual. I don't know what the fucking I is. But yeah, so
The
it
world
says
is
the
revolving
purpose of
around
black
sex.
graduate. Yeah, so this is
Period.
You heard Rosie?
that's crazy, right? Like there's a celebration.
I don't understand why.
It's like we're regressing.
Why? Right? Why they
We
have
are.
separate
We
graduations?
are.
Is that what? That separate graduations for each distinct?
That's
Group?
what. Yeah, that's
Well,
what it
they're
sounds
trying to
like.
get
So
back
it's
to it.
Asian, Black, and Latino. What about the white
White.
graduates? Who care about the white graduates?
I don't understand the point of this.
I think this boils down to this all-inclusive behavior that America is adopting. That is due to the left-wing idealist. That's what it is.
all-inclusive behavior.
All-inclusive, and with them being all-inclusive, this is the problem with all-inclusivity. It's more segregation and diversity
Right.
now than it was in previous times.
This is strange to even want to talk about because I don't even know what to say other than what the fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I guess depending on who you ask, some people want separation. Some people want separation. And I mean, I think about that sometimes.
Well, I guess.
Okay, Plessy versus Ferguson.
I guess my.
Everybody
I
go
can
ahead.
see why. Okay, because you still have communities out there. You still have like little China. You have little China type communities. You have little Italy type communities, and little Korea and things like that all over America. And that right there is a way of sharing your culture. And I guess the reason for those communities being the way they are is because it's sharing a piece of other people's cultures
Right.
within American culture. So you don't have to go all the way to Korea to get a piece of Korea. You can learn the culture, you can learn the customs.
That's
Same
cool.
with little Italy and things like that. But when it and I think that's cool when it's sequestered like that. But when it becomes mainstream and it becomes everyday like
Policy.
right? That's
Let's
when I think it
honor
gets
the
weird.
Asian students this weekend, and tomorrow honor the African descendants.
Yeah, like it's,
So
I think when you do that, see, I think we talked about this on the phone. When you are a homogenous community, it's easier to have a standard because everybody falls under the same line of thinking, the same traditions, so on and so forth. When you are heterogeneous like we are here in America, it's hard to get everybody on one accord because you have different people with different backgrounds, different religious beliefs, different customs, so on and so forth. So we're not really a galvanized unit here in America. And that's why I think that's why I think we're all over the place right now. That's why I think there's no standard right now because we're too heterogeneous. And I hope I'm saying that right. So yeah, but that's my take on it. I mean, what do you guys think?
It's crazy that we're too hetero.
Way too hetero. Yeah, that goes in many different ways. Yeah.
My thing is this, man. You know, we don't need no more all-inclusiveness. We've got enough, you know what I'm saying, diversity going on. We've got enough representation going on. I don't understand the point of having separate graduations.
I think some representation hurts us. I ain't gonna care.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
some representation.
Yes, some
Give me an
representation
example.
shouldn't be represented.
Give me an example.
I would say the LGBTQ community gonna hate me on this shit, but we don't need representation of the LGBTQIA community in fucking children's schools.
I
Oh, that's a
agree.
fucking
Get it the fuck out of there. My children do not need to know about drag queens. Children don't need to know about transitioning. Children only need to know what their fucking parents instills in them and what's being taught at schools that isn't agenda based.
I agree.
Yeah,
I definitely
that's
agree.
all
Matter of
indoctrination.
fact, my daughter, who I just took out of public schools, and she's gonna be homeschooling, but she was working on a health assignment on her computer, and I looked at it and I was like, "What is that?" And I thought it was something that she had put together. It was like a
Syllabus
slideshow,
kinda
like
thing? Like
what
a-
a PowerPoint.
PowerPoints. Okay.
And she said, "Well, this is my health class. My teacher put that in there." And it was images of naked women, you know, with lingerie on.
Lingerie.
How old is your?
15, posing, sitting inside of martini glasses,
What? In health class?
toasting up, ridiculous stuff. And I was like, "What is the subject?" And she said, "Well, the subject was alcohol and drugs." And then so I start taking pictures of it because I was going to email the principal about it because I was disturbed, you know. When I was learning about tobacco and drugs, I mean, we talked about it. They may have showed us some pictures of what the drugs look like.
Mild images.
But to have it glamorized,
Oh, sexually.
and then
What?
you want to know, to top it off, that really took me to the top, y'all.
What's that?
If you zoom in to the corner of the liquor, they had one liquor of this black woman and this black man. The liquor on it said Wild Africa. No, I'm serious, y'all. Listen. I was livid,
Who the fuck
okay?
is this health teacher?
I don't even know.
Playing that ass.
But she was at what's the school? Hardaway High School.
Hardaway High School, please do
In
better.
Columbus.
Get y'all motherfucking
She's
health
a ninth
student
grade.
in check.
Whoever that health
Crazy
teacher
ass.
is, I don't know. But I took my daughter out the public system. She be homeschooled.
Yo,
now.
that's crazy. What?
too much.
Wild Africa. What did it say?
Wild Africa.
Cause you niggas is wild.
Right. This is what they're teaching to the whole health class. You
Who
know?
is this health teacher? They bugging.com.
Well, you said it was in a. Was it in like a? You said it was a PowerPoint.
Yep. And then you go to the next PowerPoint. The teacher had a list of all the places you can go to sneak and drink liquor and do drugs.
Nigga, you can go ahead and
A
do
whole
this
list.
crack. Nigga, if you want to do some crack,
A whole
you can go
outline.
on 35th Street.
Exactly.
Crack on 35th.
Yeah. And there's some prostitutes for your liking.
Weed on 2nd Avenue. And if you want some meth.
Yeah.
So I pointed it out to my daughter and was like,
Make
you
sure
know,
you
look
wear a
at this.
condom though, nigga.
Look at this programming that they got going on here.
This is crazy. That's for real. That kind of thing needs to be brought up to like City Hall or something.
So that's what I mean when I say
Like
all
seriously.
representation does not need to be
Agreed.
presented. Because, okay, me and my wife were talking earlier about there was a film. She said why does it matter that Bert and Ernie were gay? This is what she asked me. And I said, well, what do you mean? She goes that somebody in, I think some thread had brought it up or whatever. And she said, why does it need to be mentioned if there's no sexual scenes in the show? Why does it matter? Like, they keep pushing, oh, did you know that in the new whatever movie, Marvel movie, that Captain America is gonna be gay? And it's like in any of these movies, what are there sex scenes in any of these movies? No. So why the fuck does it
Exactly.
matter if they're gay? That what you do in bed.
They're planting seeds is all it is.
Listen, I saw a great podcast today, and the guy said, "Why is what I do in how is what I do in bed define me politically, religiously, and so on?" And I was like, "Damn, that is a very intelligent question. Why is it that what you do in bed defines your political views, your social view, like?" Why does it partake in everyday practices of your life? It's sex. We don't fucking need to know about it.
Right. We're not having sex outside like wild animals. We'll get to that though.
The only this is the one thing that I can say that I could get behind, right? The one thing that I can say that I'll get behind when it comes to the LGBT. Like I said, I have no problems with the L's, the G's, the B's, the Q's. The T's are troublemakers. However, I will get behind the idea that if you are in love with somebody of the same sex and you want to exercise the right to do what everybody else does, which is get married, that is a fight worth having because you want to get married. If you live that lifestyle and you want to broadcast it in the sense of, hey, I want people to know that this is my, because documents, there's benefits to getting married.
Yes, it is.
When it comes to
right, all kinds of things.
Yeah, so I will get behind that. That is a fight worth having. But to shove things in your face like, oh, you don't respect my pronoun. I go by they, them. And it's like, no, you don't go by they, them, you fucking asshole. You're fucking you. It. But, it's just...
I don't like what baffles me is like the why try and program children with such a perverse sexuality.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, what is the agenda? Is there an agenda?
I think there is an agenda.
What is it? But it's a left-wing agenda because the right isn't doing this shit.
I think it's both of them, and both sides are playing their role.
What I think they're trying to get, what I think they're trying to do, they're like, kind of like one of you said earlier, it's like we're going backwards, backtracking. We're regressing. And where I think they're trying to go, and I said this a few years ago, and I've noticed it, and I'm sure that you guys will notice it if you start paying attention. I think they're trying to go back, for one, to child, what is that, like young wives, young girls, like children and older men. If you pay attention to these movies, you'll see a lot of interaction between young girls and older men, and they're not making it sexual, but they're making it like a connection that to me just seems like it's a little bit on a different level. If you start paying attention, I don't know if y'all noticed that or not, but I've noticed that in a lot of different things. But I think the agenda, this sexual thing that they're pushing,
and it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It is everywhere. I mean, it's almost like it's some sort of, I hate to say it because I'm not really religious in that matter.
Praise Jesus.
But it seems like there's some sort of satanic idea. Like this culture has become fascinated with Satan. Like they were talking about Lil Uzi Vert in one of his new rap songs. He said, "I can make a city girl worship the devil," or some weird line. I don't remember what the line was. And then when you even think about his name is Lil Uzi Vert. Say his name real fast. Lucifer. You know what I'm saying? And then you got, what's the guy's name? Sam Smith at the Grammys doing a whole song and dance with a song called Unholy. And he is parading around as the devil and a bunch of demons that are looking like the girl from The Ring and dressed in red dancing around. So, yeah, man, we're very much backsliding. This is why I follow. I don't know if you guys are, like I said, I'm not very. I don't want to stand on either side of the fence like totally, but I'm more right leaning in my political belief, and the reason being is because first and foremost, the people that I follow, Ron DeSantis, I think he's doing a lot of great shit in Florida. I follow the Daily Wire. I listen to Candace Owens. I listen to Ben Shapiro. I listen to Matt Walsh. I think these people, Amala Epinopi, I think they're all doing like great work at
There's
over
another
at
person I
PragerU.
think, my fault. There's another person I think you might like, Pearl, Daily Pearl or something like that. It's a white girl, except she's like...
Yeah, that's not politics though. She's just talking like relationship type shit. But Pearl, yeah, I fuck with Pearl on the relationship stuff. Like she's fucking based. But yeah, I what I see is it seems like the left, when the Democrats got in power, and mind you, back in 2008, I was a fucking liberal. I was a Democrat, Obama and everything. However, I started to see something different when Trump ran for office and he got in. I still wasn't. I was more right wing, but I wasn't like a big time Trump supporter, because he seems like more of a celebrity to me than a politician. Right. But then when Biden got in, I saw this shift. Within just 2 to 3 years, I saw a major shift in American culture. We have become very tolerant of a lot of things that we weren't in prior years. Like the shit that you see going on now, it seems like left-wing ideology run amok. And I look at the people that I follow on the right, a lot of people are trying to get onto, and I know I'm beating a dead horse with this. I know I have spoken, I said it before. They were a lot of people on The View and on the left were talking about how Ron DeSantis, he's denying African American studies, the AP studies African American. So the left was pushing this idea that Ron DeSantis is fucking racist. He don't want black history to be told. But if you listen to his interview, if you listen to his speech, he said there's 3 factors within the black studies that I don't think should be there. And it's not of any educational value. Mm-hmm. He said they have queer theory in African American studies.
Queer theory.
They also have what was the other
queer theory?
The banning of prisons, and then there was another. I can't remember what the other one was.
The banning of prisons.
Yeah, like trying to get rid of prisons or some weird shit. And then there was some other. I can't fucking remember what it is. Hopefully it'll come back to me. But yeah, so yeah, queer theory, like you said before, it's like they're Trojan horsing these ideas under the banner of black history. So if you pay attention to what's going on today, black history is synonymous with LGBTQ. If you look at anything on Netflix, I even got on my fucking PlayStation and saw rainbows. I was like, it's sex. This ain't a race of people. It's how they fuck. Right. I don't need to know this.
Exactly.
It's just sex.
Thank you.
Straight people have not gone around and going, yo, you know what, nigga? I want to let the world know that I like having my dick sucked. I want to make a flag with fellatio, and I want to wave my flag and let people know I like tying bitches up and getting head.
Exactly.
Fellatio flag.
Fellatio flags for all, nigga. We don't do that. Because it's not. And then they're saying, here's another thing I'm hearing a lot of. Black trans people are getting discriminated against at an alarming rate. They're getting attacked. I'm like, I ain't never seen a trans nigga get beat up.
I know something.
All right, do tell.
I've got a trans friend who I went to high school with. It started like transition like 3 years ago, but just like listening to them speak and their experience in life, man, it's actually really terrifying and horrible. They've been sexually assaulted a couple times by dudes who
sexually assaulted,
raped by dudes who were like acting like they were friends, and then they just was trying to get them alone and rape them. You know what I mean? So you're a victim a lot, especially when you a lot of times people have been seeing like trans, like these big ass dudes who are obviously big ass people.
Yeah, I see monstrous trans niggas.
Yeah, my friend was always very small, even before starting their transition. You know what I'm saying? There was always a very small, I don't want to use the word frail, but I'm going to just say small. Like slim, not that much muscle mass. You know what I'm saying? Even before their transition. So then once they start transitioning with the hormone treatment, they start losing muscle mass and stuff, yada, yada, yada. So now they're way weaker. And it makes it just very difficult to defend yourself. But, just the workplace discrimination, you know what I mean? People not want to acknowledge who you are type stuff. Yeah. This is the only person I personally know. But obviously they know other people in that circle. You know what I mean? So
now when I said that, I'm not being mindful that the fact that there's probably assaults that take place in the trans community. And mind you, I have no personal beef with the trans people. I just have a beef when you guys push certain ideas and agendas to children. Do what the fuck you want. Have your drag shows. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Just don't. Leave the kids alone. But yeah, I'm not blind to the fact that there are probably trans people being assaulted for their lifestyle and things like that. I'm not negating that. However, numbers, they're trying to make it like black trans people are getting like it's an everyday thing. The numbers are I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not negating the fact that it don't happen, but I'm saying to act like you see it every day on the news, some trans person getting their ass beat or some it's not there. You got to remember, they're a very small community of people. They're a very small community of people, but they're making a lot of noise. That is it's like, how did they got so much power when?
Well, somebody brought. I think it was Dave Chappelle who brought that up about how much support is behind like the whole LGBTQ thing, and it was just speaking about like this. Obviously, rich people pump a lot of money into all these movements and protests. But before we get into that, I wanted to comment on something else earlier. But when you was talking about the perversion, you know what I mean? And everyone was talking about this. Me personally, you already know where I'm coming from. You already know where I'm coming from. They probably don't know, but I'm a Bible believing person, and that's the grounding authority in which I live my life and make decisions. Yeah. So when the Bible, one of the things about the Bible that's always been consistent and always tried to be found true was its prophecies. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? People say as much stuff as they want to say about, the Bible was written this long ago. This many people wrote the Bible. Okay. Now, how do you combat the consistent prophecies that are being fulfilled biblically? And one of those prophecies is, in the end days, Jesus said, it'll be just like the days of Noah. When I return, good will be called evil. Evil will be called good. Will I even find faith on earth? And what I really feel like we're genuinely seeing right now is we're seeing like that ground zero of the perversion already like festering and bubbling and boiling.
This is where I side with you 100%, because I notice when you take God out of when you take it out of the standard of American living, you now see the usurp of what seems like satanic ideology, like the perversions, as you said. It's made its way into mainstream. Back in the day, it used to be things you only heard about in the background. Now that which was in the background has made its way to the foreground, and now that counterculture is now our culture, and people that try to stand up and get things back in order, because that's where chaos is that's the main thing that leads to chaos, is no order. And I think when it comes to the politics, I think the right is trying to restore order, but the left is not having it. That's just what I see going on.
Did you have anything to say on that?
No, I'm done.
Me personally, I hate to be like the radical one or like the conspiracy theorist one.
Let's go there.
I'm not gonna lie, that's me. I am. I'm not gonna lie. Me, I don't buy into the party system of the government, not one bit. I feel like all of it is a joint facade. I feel like both parties play these parts. You know what I'm saying? To manipulate. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like they're just trying to like manipulate the people. You know what I'm saying? Like they're constantly pitting groups of people against other groups of people. You know what I mean? And then one of here's my beef with the right. Okay, because the right always the right claims it's like Christian values type deal. However, at the same time, they behave in a way that doesn't really reflect you know what I'm saying, an actual Christ-like idea. It's just that they just want to like hold on to like this traditionalism or something like that.
Right.
And
right.
I don't buy the bull crap, man, because I can see through it. I know true faith when I see true faith, and I know religion when I see religion.
Right.
So I'm saying the conservative Christian ideology that the right pushes is a religious, you know what I'm saying, thing. And
Most of them do tie everything back to the Christian religion and things like that.
Yeah,
but see, I don't see it's not the representatives of the party that I follow when it comes to the right. It's certain people that I know really believe in this shit. Like I said, I'm not into the whole Bible thing. I kind of go, okay, I understand that that's the belief, but the reason I line up with them a little bit more is because I look at some of their values. I don't give a fuck about the people. The values and what they stand for, I go, I can get behind that. First Amendment right, I can get behind that. Second Amendment, I can get behind that. I feel that. The left to me, and the reason I had to stop fucking with it is because, look, we are in left-leaning government right now. This is what you see. Where our country is right now is the left is in power. I can't get behind this shit. I don't follow it. Yeah, I'm not saying that the right is perfect. Fuck no. This is politics. They're politicians. So of course the right isn't any. They're not purified. But when it comes to what I can get behind and what I can follow, I'm just more right leaning. But yeah, I'm not big on politics, but I just see where the country's going, and I'm like, no, this ain't right. This is left. No.
Bro, I brought this question up to you before, man. And I never got to get your full thought on it, and I don't know if we would have to like do this for like a separate segment. But do you remember when I asked you like if you were to have your own country that you would create from scratch, what would your government look like? And you can just answer the government question, and we'll leave all the other stuff for like future times. Like, what kind of city buses would you have? Like, what colors would they be? Like type shit. We'll say that for later. But just at the very minimum, what would your government look like?
That's. I mean, I really haven't
thought about that.
Yeah, I haven't really sat.
Okay, well let me simplify that question because that's a big question right there.
Yeah, that's very.
What would be like the top? Oh, okay, your Bill of Rights, if you will. If you had like values and like think of some power words to describe what your government would emphasize that all the people observe and constantly trying to live according to. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I would actually have to really sit down and look at what's going on in society and see what works and what don't work. And what I do know that does not work is, I'm sorry, but I kind of understand, free will is a motherfucker because people don't make the best decisions. So I don't believe, I believe that governments should have a hold on things but here's the problem with that. People are flawed. Governments are flawed. So you get a flawed government, you put these people in power, you're not going to have, you're going to have corruption. So I do see that when people have the freedom of choice, they do the stupidest shit. So policies do have to be in place to keep motherfuckers under control because people make a lot of dumb fucking emotional decisions that aren't good long term. They think of short term gratification, and long term the shit does not pan out. So strict policy. Another thing that I see when it comes to the left, this is what I notice about black people being in control of shit. I'm about to go there.
Yeah, please.
Niggas ain't tough on crime. Straight up. Because you identify with a people, the crime element does not give a fuck about what your belief is when it comes to, you know what, this is a young black guy. He grew up in a trouble. That young black guy don't give a fuck about none of that. He out here doing what he got to do to get money, or if he out here drilling on niggas, like they don't think the same way. It's kind of like what Chris Rock says. You got black folks and you got niggas, but black folks always try to take up for niggas. And niggas don't give a fuck about black folks.
That's real though.
So that's why black folks ain't tough on crime, because they see a little piece of how they grew up in these crazy ass criminals. But here's the thing, you got to separate yourself from criminals, because guess what happens when you defend that type of activity or behavior, or you always make an excuse? Well, look at how they grew up. The niggas out here shooting people. What happens is the rest of the world goes, they all must. Is this genetic? Are all these motherfuckers like this? You are supporting. Like, black people would sit there and support a fucking criminal. I used to be. I remember growing up in Indianapolis, bro, and I used to see. Remember back in the day, you used to see Naptown. Yeah, remember back in the day, you used to see. Yeah, Indianapolis.
Oh.
So back in the day, we used to see free so and so on a T-shirt, right? But it used to come with some sense of the person who was on the T-shirt was really actually innocent. He stood for something. He meant something, or you know, he had ideas that people believed in, and you know, people felt like that person should be free. Right. Not today. If you see free so and so on the T-shirt, that nigga did it. That nigga did the crime. Like, I remember, like, my homeboys had, I don't want to say no names, but they had free so-and-so. And I was like, oh, shit, he didn't do it? Oh, no, yeah, he clapped them niggas, but free my nigga. And I'm like, so he did the crime and you want him free? This is the type of shit that I'm
free
saying.
Free more criminals. We need.
Black people are not tough on crime, dude.
I want to bring this back to this Tekashi 6ix9ine incident about, you know, snitching. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where they have this culture of saying, hey, don't tell on nobody who actually did it, because if you do, you're a bad person. You're worse than the person who actually did the crime. You know what I mean? So how do you feel about the no snitch culture?
Here's what I've always believed about no snitch, right? Gang codes and laws have permeated everyday life for black people. So now you got people that ain't even in gangs talk about snitches get stitches. It's like, no, that is a rule. I think I heard the greatest thing Charleston White said. He said, there's no honor amongst thieves. In gang culture, they live by these codes. If you just a regular civilian and you see crime happening, get the fuck up and tell.
I'm going to be honest, because I was raised, my dad was a gangster.
My daddy was one too.
Both y'all had gangster daddies.
And my brother, who, rest in peace, you know, he was affiliated, you know, with groups.
Okay, so you grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. Where about? Where from?
Well, I grew up on 33rd in New Jersey.
Wait a minute. Mm-hmm. Do you know the Woodens?
The Woodens?
The Woodens.
Yeah.
You fucking know the Woodens?
Yes, the Woodens.
Lynn Wooden.
All them Woodens. Same street on New Jersey, 32nd
They
in New
run
Jersey.
fucking New Jersey. Listen.
Yeah.
That's my sister and them folks.
That's my people that I grew up with.
Are we related?
Possibly.
Yo. I swear to God. Listen. Yo, this is crazy right here. Yo, look. The Woodens, when you said New Jersey, the Woodens, they whole family.
So saying that to say, you know, like let's give that
you
family.
You thorough. You thorough.
Let's give that family, you know, their time right now.
Yeah.
Go snitch on somebody if you want to.
Yeah, they like they a family, bro.
You know what I mean? So
they are family.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Italicized.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's kind of like, so going back to that, my brother got murdered, and you know, it was all affiliated with his little group of people. Yeah. And I knew details. I had information, you know, about my brother's murder. Yeah. But and they wanted me to come down to the police station. It was my brother. Me and my brother was the best friends. You know what I'm saying? But it is it's a fear factor when it comes down to snitching
Yeah.
and telling information.
Because your life could be in peril.
Definitely so, and so I may have wanted to give some information out of, what is it? Revenge, not really revenge.
More
but,
like justice.
Yeah, justice. For
Right,
my brother,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So, but I guess that street justice is, and when you know the type of people we talking about,
Yeah.
they'll tell you, they will tell you, don't say nothing. We gonna handle this shit how we gonna handle it. Let that motherfucker be free,
right.
cause we gonna handle it how we handle it.
My thing is this: how many more people gonna be victims of this criminal who's on the loose? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many more funerals are they gonna be because this mofo still running around acting wild?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, eventually all karma is gonna come back to you. But I mean, in that meantime, how much more damage are you gonna do until that comes back around? See, that's my thing. Like people, like for example, old dude. Last week we did a thing. Dude in Oklahoma got released from jail when he wasn't supposed to. One that murdered 3 people. One was a 4-year-old child. You know what I'm saying? Like, when criminals are let loose and are kept free when they could be detained and punished, like they're still out there committing these atrocities unchecked. You know what I mean? And so it's like there's so much pain, and like that's a child that somebody done lost. That's a parent that somebody done lost. Now somebody's growing up without guidance. Now their life sprawling out of control, and so it's like there's so many repercussions to allowing evil to continue. The Bible says, "He who justifies the wicked is brother to he who condemns the righteous."
Ooh.
They're both an abomination to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So
Bars, nigga. Bars, nigga.
But like, I mean, I understand what you mean, because I didn't grow up living in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely wasn't like a suburb, like, rich white people type of stuff. But I mean, my mom worked hard as a single parent until she got with my stepdad. I mean, even the house where my parents still live in now on Graham Street, like, my mama bought that house.
Yeah.
Working hard by herself. Like, I never grow up in the hood because my mama already knew, like, that wasn't the kind of stuff that she was trying to have me be around. And I could not imagine that the type of person I would be if my environment dictated it to be so.
Listen, that is very, like, now growing up in Indianapolis, you didn't have to be part of anything, but the hood is never too far away from anywhere. Indianapolis is just a different place, because when you think of Indiana, you think of cornfields and Amish people, and that's very accurate.
If you've ever been to
that's
Indiana,
accurate if you outside of Indianapolis. But when you go to Indianapolis,
it's just now starting to get put on the map.
Yeah, like it's that tri-state area, that Indianapolis, Chicago, Detroit. Them are the three. Well, Mississippi is taking the cake right now.
Yeah. And Missouri.
Mississippi is a motherfucker right now. But yeah, Indianapolis, Detroit. I would say if you could rank them top, I would say Chicago taking the lead. It don't get no more gangsters in Chicago in the Midwest.
Well, but they got such a larger population though.
Well, Chicago.
Nowadays, Indiana outdoing Chicago.
Chicago.
The Chicago people done migrated down to Indiana.
Yeah, that happens. But I would say Chicago, and at one point I would say Detroit. And then I would say Indianapolis. But back in the day, in the 90s, it was Gary, Indiana.
Right.
Then.
Where Michael Jackson from?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Niggas was
That's
gangster.
like the
Y'all niggas,
capital.
you better not think Michael Jackson was soft. Shit. That nigga learned to moonwalk from smacking bitches backwards.
Out of scenes and shit. What's my money?
Yeah.
But the topic that we're on, it kind of ties back into what we were talking about earlier with that segregated ceremonies. And I was going to speak on it, but it would have got a little deep. But now that we're talking about all of this,
let's go in.
It's like, I mean, I don't like saying negative things about our people or anything like that. But
nah, fuck that.
We
Be honest.
right now,
Be honest.
And in the whole separation, segregation, whatever, that ceremony.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about the cultures.
Oh, okay, yeah, you good. You turn your
Think
shit off.
about the cultures, and just the behavior
Yeah.
of people. Okay.
Okay, I see where you're going now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see where you're going now when you said the last comment.
Because even with in the school systems, and I took my daughter out, like it's a big thing right now with bullying, right? And I have 3 children in the school system, 1 in high school and 2 in the elementary schools, and then I have 3 older children who are graduating with doctorates and so on and so forth. But but what I've noticed is that the bullying, and I can't speak for other communities, but it's within the black community.
Let's talk about it.
These black kids. I'm sorry to have to say. And I work with primarily white people. And they're talking about it. And we're talking about it.
I watch a lot of, I'm a big fan of podcasts, man. I'm a fan of this craft. That's why I got into it. But, because you get paid for talking. Fucking, I love to talk. But I watched a gentleman named Anton Daniels, and he's part of the Keef network. And he said something so profound, and it pissed off black people to the fullest. He said, black culture is trash.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
And I sat there and I went, I completely concur. And the reason I say it, because he said something, he was saying something about how.
Not all of it.
But. No, it ain't. We don't have to throw the all in there, but the culture, what's popular culture right now? It's trash. The popularist culture that's out right now is fucking trash. Right. What it promotes is, it promotes feminism. It promotes violence. It promotes a lot of thottery. It promotes, let's see, a drug culture. It's very defiant in the sense that there's no common union when it comes to this shit. Black culture is, when you look at growing up, you know how it was. The people that came before us fought so hard for us to be able to vote. They fought so hard for us to be able to sit where we wanted to on a bus. Right. They fought so hard for us to not be denigrated and called niggas. Right.
To get paid.
What has and I'm gonna tell you the fault of all of this shit, because our music, and I ain't gonna lie, there was always shit shows in the background. Because I heard some songs from back in the day that, you think that songs from back in the day was all just about love and da-da-da. Nah, you had some foul shit, but it wasn't to the extent that it is now. Yeah. And I think this type of behavior came in when gangster rap was grafted in. And because you got to remember, rap started off just fun lyrics. Right. I mean, like shit.
Right.
Hop.
Hip-hop.
It was
That's
fun.
The hip-hop.
So it was fun. And then it was conscious. So at first it was just fun, a hip-hop. Then KRS-Ones came in teaching you about black unity, about black ancient philosophy and culture and things like that. Right. And then Eazy-E.
Well, that's where them other folks come in and started promoting.
Well, hold on. Yeah. See, this is where I get so angry with black people, because black people say shit like this. There's a gun store and a liquor store on every corner in the hood. Okay, if I put something somewhere, you have a choice to make. Is it my fault for putting my business here and you making it boom? If it don't boom, I could go, oh shit, this was a bad investment, location is bad, let me take it elsewhere. Niggas make the fucking choice. I don't give a fuck if 1 million white people put guns to niggas' heads and said, rap about your because here's the thing. What white person in those days wrote the fucking raps? White people wasn't writing raps. They just own a record label. So and you got to remember, in the beginning, they did not want that shit to come out. See Dolores Tucker, who Tupac used to talk about. See, now that I'm older, I used to be on Tupac's side because remember his song, "See Dolores Tucker, she's a motherfucker." Instead of trying to help a nigga, she destroy a brother. But what C. Dolores Tucker was trying to do was get that bullshit out of the community. Pay attention to the... See, you would have people back in those times trying to... Because C. Dolores Tucker said, we don't want our women being called bitches. We don't want our women being called hoes. Niggas was fighting niggas were advocating for calling their women bitches and hoes. Look at what we got now. Because the motherfuckers, and you know what they would call C. Dolores Tucker? A fucking Uncle Tom, because she was on the right. Because she was on the side that white people that was like, yo, we don't want our society pushing this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
But niggas was like, damn, y'all trying to keep a nigga from getting money. There's a way to make money.
That's going on right now, and I don't really know, what the answer to that is, but
I do.
what? Jesus.
Thank you.
Here, okay, so I
Thank you.
I believe that what the Bible has in it is great for morality, to push morality. The only problem is this. You can't force ideas on people. So this is why it doesn't work. Because you believe in it. You believe in the good that it can do. But here's the problem. That freedom that those people have over there to do what they want to do. Remember what I told you, people that have freedom don't make good decisions all the time. Majority of the fucking time. If you let your kids, okay, let's bring it to children, right? If you are the law enforcement, right? And your kids are the people. If you took away your law and your enforcement of the law and just allowed them to have autonomy to do what they wanted, do you think they would make good decisions?
No.
It's the same thing with fucking adults.
That's right.
When you give them autonomy, they make bad decisions. But when you make laws, strict laws that do not allow you, that don't make it permissible for you to do certain things, then you get order. But niggas advocate for lawlessness all the time.
Bro, I would, not to just say, not to restrict
Niggas.
it to just black people, but I feel like it's honestly a humanity problem.
True
The
that,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
When
yeah.
you say lawlessness, my God, I mean, like that's, okay, I mean, like, okay, everybody know the Old Testament, the law, right? New
Yeah.
Testament, the New Covenant, Jesus, except, grace,
Yeah.
mercy, right. But what you always seen was that people naturally, even the Jews in the Old Testament, never kept the law. They were never obedient. Ever, not once. The whole Old Testament is nothing but a record of the Jews being disobedient to the laws that God gave them. So I'm saying, it's human nature almost to be, rebellious. But anytime you talk about freedom, you got free will, you got the freedom of choice, understand that there's a consequence.
To that freedom.
Right.
You have the
Even
freedom to
those
say what the
neg-
hell you want to say,
Yes.
but there's a consequence.
There's a consequence. I mean, technically, I can do whatever I want. I can go outside and walk around butt booty naked. There's going to be a consequence of that. I'm going to have to be a registered sex offender, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
So would you say that 100% freedom is not the key?
No, I think 100%.
Think about that.
You have to have 100% freedom. That way you can separate, you know what I'm saying, those who are willing to have order and those who are advocates of chaos. Because you have to be able to separate the chaos advocates from the ones who will follow order. Because what you'll have is that you get a perversion, especially when the ones who are for order allow the chaos advocates to run rampant. You see what I'm saying?
But here's the problem with that, though, right? So when you have division like that, the chaos advocates over here and the people who advocate order over here, see, the people that advocate order, they live by rules. Now, what if these two go to war? If you have rules of engagement and these people don't, what happens? This is why you got to regulate them motherfuckers. Because if you don't regulate the lawlessness, that shit will seep into your shit. And they're not bound by the rules that you live by. This is why when people, okay, just like going to war. When America is going to war with some other country and we got rules of engagement, it makes it harder for us to fucking put forth order. Because I have to follow these bounds. But these motherfuckers over here can practice guerrilla warfare. And I gotta, can I strike? Can we strike? No, stand down.
What kind of shirt they wearing?
Stand down. They're shooting at us. Stand down. How do you fucking get a hold of lawlessness when lawlessness knows no bounds and you're living with order? The people in order have to regulate that fucking behavior.
Now, how do you regulate them?
You go to war. You go to war. You have to first and foremost, you got to be brave enough to stand up and call out the fuckery. And because here's the thing, the lawless, they're not going to just isolate themselves or sequester themselves in some part of the world where we don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They're going to be lawmakers.
That lawlessness, they're going to be lawmakers. And at some point, what do lawmakers do? They oftentimes, and this is how the Crusades and conquest happen, is because they believe that their ideas should reign supreme. And when I think my ideas should reign supreme over your ideas, I'm going to encroach.
Ooh.
That's why the law-abiding, order-having citizens and politicians have to regulate the lawlessness. And I hate to bring it back to black people, but guess who needs to be fucking regulated? I hate to say it, bro.
I hate to say that too.
The original man.
And I'm sorry, but that's what they're trying to do. Down in Mississippi, that's what they're trying to do. Up in Michigan. I mean, really, eventually I feel like if our culture don't straighten it up, like they're gonna start doing a lot of things.
We got to get tough on crime. So, like I said, we keep beating this dead horse. We keep talking about, every time I turn around and see anything black, the only thing we have to relate to is oppression. That shit is getting very fucking old. And I'm going to tell you something. White people at some point, they're going to go, y'all niggas still talking about this? Y'all still talking about this? If you look at it now, I would say
it's probably already getting just like that.
At some point, they're going to go, you know what? We can't satisfy these motherfuckers. No, because if you look at, I swear, dude, and motherfuckers going to probably try to call me an Uncle Tom for this shit, but I notice, because I be perusing these YouTube streets, I see what the fuck is going on. I noticed, have you noticed, black people are the most sensitive motherfuckers in the world. Like, today, it is fair game for you to talk about white men. You can't talk, now, here's people you can't talk about. You can't make fun of Asians. You can't make fun of black people. You can't make fun of the Jewish community.
Oh, no, you definitely playing with hot water with that one.
But, and LGBTQ, you can't make fun of them either. But for some odd reason...
Or midgets.
Yeah. First and foremost, you don't even see them little motherfuckers enough for you to... Like, did you... When was the last time... Hold on, no, we're not going to do this.
In person? I think there was a girl at the food line on Graham Street in Charlotte. But she was like one of those tall
Last time I
midgets.
seen one was at Magic City, and she was quite impressive.
We are talking about midgets, bro.
What? She had cake? She was on the pole?
It was actually multiple midgets.
JC Wonderland, bro. JC laughing at me.
I got a wife at home.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I have to see this parade of stripping midgets. That seems.
Oh no, yeah, no, the stripping midgets is out
entertaining.
there. The stripping midgets is out there.
That sounds kind of lit. I ain't gonna
They
lie.
had a little people show, nigga. Yeah.
On a pole smaller.
Hey, let's be honest though. Hey, hold on. Let's be serious for a minute.
They be thick.
They be having ass though. It's almost like it's almost like
Let's not talk about the men midgets.
it's almost like they are just born. Ooh, I gotta really watch how I say
you worded this?
because their physical attributes are that of which the Hottentot type. Or shall I say the stereotypia within little women is profound. Okay. That ass, nigga, they got cakes. Them little motherfuckers be having cakes.
They be having booties and foreheads.
Everything's...
Bro, why they... Oh, shit. Nope. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. Little people, I stand with you. I stand with your little asses.
They're quite...
You stand over them.
Cool.
You know what, though? This is some...
I like midgets for the
women,
record.
hold on. Go.
I just wanted to get that out there. I like midgets.
I'm going to tell you, listen. I'm going to tell you how fucked up the dating scene is right now. If you're a guy
Looking for
and
midgets.
you prefer little women, I've actually heard adult females, mostly black, sorry to say it,
Don't apologize
say
to me.
shit like
I'm
this.
with it.
Y'all only date it's giving pedophilia.
I heard that. I did hear that.
I was like,
With the
damn,
midget?
niggas can't like shit.
I
You
don't
say
think
as a
nothing's wrong with
dude,
it. They're
I
cute.
kid you not, I've heard women say
I've heard that.
to guys who like little women, it's giving pedophilia.
That I don't get that at all.
Bruh.
Not at all.
Men cannot have preferences. Now, if a woman comes about and goes, I want my man, he got to be tall. He got to have some money. I don't know why I'm doing that fucking. He got to have
culture.
some money. He better be packing. Like, I don't know. He better not have no shrimp. He better have his own car, his own da-da-da. But then at the same time, I want him to be a gentleman, but I don't want him to be too nice. Like, if I don't want a nigga I can run over, but he better be nice. He better treat me right.
I mean, if we gotta have a man that entertains multiple women, why can't we choose what we want?
Say that again.
Whoa.
Say it again.
Time out.
Let's time it.
If you say it one more time.
Because we were having a conversation earlier that's
Yeah.
not on record.
Yeah.
That is true.
And we were talking about, the nature of a man.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, the nature of a man is the nature of a man. So, why can't a woman have a preference?
Oh no, here's the problem. There's no problem with women's preferences. When a woman says what she's into, guys don't go, man, these bitches only like tall niggas. They go, okay. So let's say she says, I like a man who's 6 feet. I like a man who got 6 figures. I like a man who got a 6-pack. I like a man who got more than 6 inches. I like a man who got whatever other 6, right? Guys go, okay, I ain't 6 feet. Shit, well, it got me there. 6 figures? I could fuck around and get a promotion. 6-pack? I could go to the gym. 6+ inches? I'm good on that. All right, shit. Okay, I'm what, 3 out of the 4? Shit, I'm good.
So what's the problem?
Men will acclimate to what women say they want. Men don't bitch about it.
But women acclimate too.
No,
Yes,
the fuck
we
they do not
Some
do.
do. I wouldn't use a generalization to say women don't, but
All right, look, we don't have to go
Mature people-
all. We're not saying 100%. We just
Right,
saying
of course.
the majority. If
Okay.
it's 50 and fucking...
And I have to, because I am not one of those people. So sometimes I do have to take myself out of myself and come from a
Yeah, if it
different
don't relate to you,
perspective.
then we not talking. Because remember, there are outliers. But in this case, I'm not talking about outliers. I'm
Right.
talking about the general consensus. And what the general consensus usually is when a woman have a preference, men do not bitch and gripe about it. Men just rise to the occasion. And if they don't get that
Shout
girl,
out to the men that rise to the
if
occasion.
they don't get that girl, and if you can't, nigga, there's always Blue Chew. But yeah, so a guy will try his best to rise to the occasion to get that girl. If he don't, he'll move on and try to better himself. Women, on the other hand, when men go, you know what? I like a chick that's, fairly young, you know what I'm saying, anywhere between 21, 20 something. And then he'll go, she got to be fit, you know what I'm saying? I don't want no fat girl. Women, this shit is met with the utmost.
Well, Kevin Samuels messed that up. Rest in peace to Kevin
Well, he
Samuels.
didn't mess it up. He just brought it to the light. Because remember, when guys started saying so what Kevin Samuels did was he brought locker room conversations to the public.
Right.
Women did not like that shit. This is the time. What Kevin Samuels said to these women, niggas say this, and this is what, when niggas get alone by themselves, when they girl ain't around, this is how we talk.
Right.
Bro, I do not like fat bitch. Nigga, you crazy. Fat bitch, I love fat bitch. No, nigga, you only like them because they give head good. Right. Would you marry one? Nah, nigga, she got it. This is how niggas talk. This is how niggas talk, right? So he just brought to the light what we talked about in the dark. Right. But I noticed when a man has a preference, it is met with contention. It is not accepted.
I don't really hear men talking about their preference.
Exactly.
But this is the thing for me, because me personally, and I am not one of the majorities, but for me, I prefer, like I used to date a guy, and he used to, like, let's say he would see a woman that he was attracted to, outside of our relationship or whatever, and he would come back and be like, hey, I seen this girl, you know what I mean, and she was XYZ, I want you to look like that. Not in those particular words. Right. But I respected that, because that, don't leave me in the dark.
See, that right there. I'm going to tell you something, dude.
Tell me what you like,
You would be surprised how many guys cannot even speak honestly to their significant other or to women in general.
That's true.
Because the man truth, that real shit, it ain't nice.
And sometimes the man truth, it can be hurtful. But I prefer it.
Yeah.
I prefer it.
Because you know what? When you see this a lot of times in relationships, right? A woman will press a man, like, okay, she'll go, does this dress make me look fat? His gut is going, bitch, yeah, you looking at yourself. If you think you look fat, you look fat. But this is what we have to do. Shout out to Patrice O'Neal for saying this. He goes, R.I.P. Men don't just come out their mouth with what they say, with what they feel. Right. It goes through a filtering process. Because we always have to think proactively. We have to go, okay, if I tell her how she honestly look, she's going to try to withhold some pussy from me tonight. I ain't going to get no. She's going to be an asshole. She's going to hold pussy hostage. So they back you in a corner to, and I'm not, mind you, I'm not promoting men to ever succumb to that bullshit. Right. Fuck her and her pussy, nigga. Just yeah, bitch, you look fat.
Did you say fuck her right in the pussy?
No, fuck her and her pussy.
That's the
objective. If that's, because be honest, the reason men behave is because of that shit. The moment you say, fuck your head, fuck your pussy, what now? What power do you have now?
Well, women have the power of healing.
Women are the women.
Let them know what's up.
I got a lot of power other than my pussy. I do.
I think most of the healing comes from the pussy, nigga. Like,
wait till your ass hungry, nigga. We're gonna whip something up in the. Well, I don't know. I can cook myself. You cook yourself too. I know.
So let's be.
I mean, there's lots of things that we can all do for ourselves. Women can do. Like, I clearly can do a lot of things for myself too.
But women,
but the point of it is that it's a mutual understanding and agreement. That you do things for one another.
Yeah, it is a dance. But it's a delicate dance.
Myself.
Right. It's a delicate dance that we do with each other, men and women, and it's I think when women know like you said, you know how to take honesty. Right. You actually benefit from a man being honest. A lot of women get stuck in the hurt that the honesty brings about.
And that comes from some self-work that they need to do, I feel. It comes from self-work. I mean, because I've been working on myself for a long time. And I wasn't always that person that wanted to accept that truth. And it also has something to do with control.
Okay.
It has a lot to do with
control. Speak on that. Speak on that real quick, yeah.
Well, I mean, us women, we like to have control,
Ooh.
especially
That's a powerful statement.
especially when the man gives it.
Okay, now here's what's funny about that. That's key, guys. She just said when the man gives it. Now
That's
listen
right.
to what that. This is why simps gotta die. Because what happens is when a man, because first and foremost,
I like
we
simps.
hold on. All right. Let's play this game.
We have to follow up on that. Listen what he's saying.
No. Why you like simps?
Well, I mean, okay, so I don't necessarily know what the exact definition of a simp
So
really
okay,
is.
so here's what a
Let's
simp
define
is.
simps.
So what a simp is a man that gives a woman who is undeserving attention and pedestalization.
Oh no, I don't. Well, no.
I think
Sorry.
I think you like
because people use that word.
You like gentlemen.
yeah,
I do,
gentlemen. Yeah.
But people
They're not respected today,
say
though.
that it could be a simp
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Who? Okay.
because I have 6 children, and depending on who you ask, somebody that I'm with, somebody on the outside could be like, "Oh, he's a simp."
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
they
yeah,
could
would.
say that.
They would.
Clearly, he's
Yeah.
not because I don't date simps. But
Yeah, but yeah, that so.
But if a simp was defined as a gentleman, then I like those kind of.
But here's the
simps.
thing. Today, they say that nice guys finish last, and most of the nice guys are the gentlemen. I've actually watched a video. It was a social experiment. A guy was opening doors for men, right? But you laugh, but check this out. He was opening doors for men, and every dude was like, "Oh, thank you, sir." A woman would come right behind him. He would shut the door,
As if-
and he would go, I don't want to offend you. You look like a strong woman. This is how fucking brainwashed women are today. Instead of them going, "Wow, you're supposed to open the door for a gentleman," they said, "Thank you." They said, "Thank you." He shut the door on the woman and said, "I don't want to insult you. You look like a strong, independent woman." They said, "Thank you." Do you understand how fucking far down we've come?
Yeah.
Where a
do you know
gentleman-
how hard it is for me?
Yo,
Do you know?
I'm
Hard out
telling you.
here for a pimp.
Seriously though. But
It's-
our
yeah.
women, I believe our women are struggling. Our men are struggling. Like our community is struggling. Period. You know, pretty bad. But these women are desperate, and it kind of, I mean, it's just this big.
It
circle.
seemed like they've adopted the behavior of men.
They have. Well, let's go back to think like and act like a man or whatever that was.
Yeah,
that
think
little
like
book or
a
whatever,
man,
these
act like a
games
woman.
and all this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of hurt. It's a lot of hurt out there. That's what I know for a fact, you know. And going back to what we were talking about with the man, the nature of a man and everything. Okay, that's a broad subject, and we can talk about it for hours. However, I think it's a time and a place for that. I don't feel like just because it's the nature of a man, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Because people need to be healing.
Well, with civilization being where it is, it does not help communities.
Exactly.
For us to just spread our seed irresponsibly.
Exactly.
However, I will say that nature is very hard to fight. See, I think that men have a better understanding of a woman's nature than what most women have of a man's nature. And the reason I say that is because in order for a man to get that thing that he wants, he has to understand the creature that he is hunting. Right. It's like the lion and the gazelle. And the lion has to know how that gazelle moves. He has to know how that that gazelle sleeps. He has to know what time it goes to the water hole. He has to know everything about that because he has to eat. Mm-hmm. However, the gazelle has no need to know anything about that lion except for to fucking run when it's coming. So when we translate that to men and women, in order for me to get what I want, because mind you, this is how I knew it was nature in men to be how we are. Because I remember being an 8-year-old kid, being 12, 13, before puberty hit, and girls, I didn't give a fuck about them. All I wanted to do is play video games, watch wrestling, be a kid.
I was in love with girls my whole life.
However, when puberty hit, now I was always infatuated with them because I thought they were just cool. They were just different. They were beautiful. However,
women go through that. We just have been taught to be quiet and suppress it.
However, when puberty hit, something changed.
Start producing semen, nigga.
People don't understand that men produce sperm. Matter of fact, I'm gonna reference this book that I've been reading. It's a fantastic read.
While you look at that book, can I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like your little lion analogy with the gazelles. However, I think what needs to be understood is that the ones who do the hunting and the lion pride are the female lions.
Yeah, but I'm relating it to men and women. And of course,
wait, let me finish. I got you. Because I just want to throw that in there. But the second part to that was that, you say like men are the lions and women are the gazelles. For the sake of the analogy, I understand where you're getting at. But the reality of that is that women are hunters too.
Thank you.
You see what I'm saying?
And we go through puberty and have these feelings and experiences as well. We are just taught to suppress them. You know what I'm saying? Like our body gives off pheromones and we go through a whole, thing just like y'all do.
Yeah.
And we're attracted to people and want certain things and feelings, and we got all that too. And not to mention, I really feel like it's because we've been taught to be.
But
like
who
that.
taught you that though?
Society.
I don't believe that all the time because instincts.
Not all the time.
Instincts are part of the human experience, but we try to think that because we have intellect and a brain that we're above our nature. Now you have who you are and you have what you are.
Why do women suppress their sexuality?
I don't know that they suppress their sexuality.
We do. Now we have started coming into an era and an age of where, like you said, the feminist era or whatever. I don't really know what all.
Well, we in third.
Is,
some believe that we're in fourth wave feminism, but go ahead.
But women are becoming more expressive with their sexuality.
Sexually
liberated because somewhere along the line it was suppressed.
Mm-hmm. Anytime you have a lot of suppression, you're gonna on the back end you're gonna have a need to be like, fuck this, I'm gonna just, you know what I mean?
I'm attracted to multiple men. Okay. I want to have sex with them and all kinds of same feelings. But I choose not to for many different reasons. I could go with my animalistic side and turn into a
But I don't
cougar.
think it would be to your... But it would be to your detriment.
It
would be to your detriment.
It has
I think... I don't think
aspects, but it does for men as well.
I think that to a point, women's sexuality... And this ain't gonna sound right.
Because I'm not married.
It probably had to be suppressed. Think about it. When you give people autonomy,
right?
They make very bad decisions.
To touch back on that.
They make bad decisions.
As well as men.
So, yeah, but let's stay focused right now.
Okay.
So when we're talking about women, there is a very heavy detriment and a burden that women carry when they are frivolous with themselves sexually.
Okay.
See, we don't hold the children.
Right.
That is a big responsibility.
We don't have children forever.
I think women. Exactly. Women are only born with a certain amount of eggs.
I'm just saying.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about it.
I'm just saying.
So women are born with the amount of eggs that they'll ever have, right?
Yeah.
And from then on, it goes down. So let me see. Let me reference this. So it says men produce, and this is page 31. Yeah, 31 of The Evolution of Desire by David M. Buss. It says, men produce millions of sperm, which are replenished at a rate of roughly 12 million per hour. Women produce a fixed and unreplenishable lifetime supply of approximately 1 to 2 million ova. Of these follicles, most die. Only 400 ova mature to the point where they are capable of being fertilized.
Right.
Women's greater initial investment does not end with a large egg. Fertilization and gestation, key components of human parental investment, occur internally within women. One act of sexual intercourse, which requires minimal male investment, can produce an obligatory and energy consuming 9-month investment by the woman that forecloses other mating opportunities.
Right.
Women then bear the exclusive burden of lactation or breastfeeding, a calorically intensive investment that may last as long as 3 or 4 years. So women have a limit on their supply of eggs. Okay. So they have to be very selective with who they mate or who they mate select.
Right.
They have to be very selective because guess what? If you choose a man that cannot produce or cannot produce resources, he cannot protect you, then your seed is susceptible to dying off because he can't protect you in your most vulnerable state. Right. That's why women are way more selective. You could be frivolous, but that will be to your detriment.
I agree. I'm not saying that it's not it can turn into a detrimental situation because it can, but I also feel like it could be the same detriment for the man. Yeah.
Right. So here's another passage that I found interesting as well. It says, female, and this is on page 33, and yes, I give references when I talk about shit. A lot of these motherfuckers state shit and call it facts, and you go, oh, where'd you get that from? Nah, fuck that. I'm giving you references. This is the Evolution of Desire by David M. Buss. This is page 33, and I'm reading the Kindle version. Female reproductive opportunities are limited at most. A given female can expect to reproduce a handful of times in her life. A given male, by contrast, can expect at most to reproduce as many times as their available fertile females willing to have sex. Women's reproductive resources are relatively precious. Those who have only a few shots at evolutionary success need to take those shots carefully. You can't be scrupulous with who you mate select. So women out here promoting this stottery and shit, and I'm going to tell you what allowed that to be. 2 things happen. Women having the ability to produce their own resources and birth control. Right. Those are the 2 things that leveled the playing field. Why did it level the playing field? Because now you take away what men are supposed to do. Right. And what men are supposed to do is go out in the world and produce resources to bring back to his woman. Right. When you take that away and give that same opportunity to women, women go, because look at what men say when they make money and look at what women say when they make money. Mm-hmm. When a man makes money, when I make money and the people I know make money, we go, yeah, bro, I'm going to take my girl out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get my kids this. We think about the family. Right. When women make money, they go, I don't need a nigga for nothing. Well, they're independent. Their money makes them independent of a man. Our money makes us want to go out and be dependent upon.
Well, I'm sorry.
We feel
it's
great
hard
about
out
resources.
Here for us women. It's hard because going back to that conversation that we were talking about the culture of our black people, we don't, I mean, I'm not saying all, like we said, we're not saying all black people,
but a good majority.
We're talking about majority. Yeah. I mean, we're not dealing with high vibrational men out here.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna state the second thing, which I said was birth control. Now, what birth control has done was it also leveled the playing field sexually, because now women feel there's no consequence
we can have sex
to her
and
sex,
not have babies.
so she could do whatever she want at the same level of. But here is the issue, ladies. Here is the issue. You got to remember that you are the most, and I ain't simping when I say this shit. Women are the most precious commodity on this fucking planet. The reason being,
Thank you.
without you, we can't propagate a society.
So why
We can survive without you, but we cannot propagate a society.
Right.
Without you, the human factory is dead.
So why can't we get the respect?
Well, we know it's a two-way street.
It is a two-way street.
Let's think about it.
It is.
What did we talk about earlier?
What we talking about
Rap
right
music.
now.
Rap music brought in, it grafted in, because niggas fought for it. Niggas and bitches and hoes. We grafted in that era. When you go out to, what did Chris Rock say in his stand-up several years back? He said, I love rap music, but it's hard to defend this shit. You will have motherfuckers in songs completely denigrating women, and you will ask women, yo, do you hear what he's saying? He talking about that bitch. He ain't talking about me. And that's what she's dancing. You can't be disrespected unless you disrespect yourself.
That bitch, he talking about me.
Yeah, they brush it off because that's my jam.
It's crazy because I heard people say that though. That's what really got me laughing. Oh man, look, y'all going ham, bologna, and spam right now. My only thing is, I feel like at the end of the day, based on the values and the tenets of my faith, which I live my life, I feel like Jesus said, love your neighbors like you love yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Love God with all your heart. People can't treat each other how they're supposed to be treated because they don't even treat themselves how they're supposed to be treated because they don't love themselves. They don't respect themselves.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So they go out treating others how they see fit, which is without respect and without regard. You know what I'm saying? Without a care for consequences. You know what I'm saying? People live their lives without any care about consequences for their actions. They just go out and do what they feel driven to do. So I'm saying, so I feel like the only thing that's going to ever truly change a society is people loving themselves so that way they can love their neighbors accordingly. And then at the very least, respecting people's space. And you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of lack of respect. Like even to the point where like dudes feel obligated that a woman gotta give him their number or something like that. Like things like that. Like even I've dealt with women who felt obligated that I had to give them something. I'm like, which coming from a dude, it's kind of strange experience.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
Like women feel okay. Some women feel like you should be obligated to pay when you take them out on a date. That's something that they feel obligated to. But I think what has to happen is, because I've noticed in other communities, right? You look at the Latino community. Our women ask a lot from us, given the circumstances, right? However, when you look at the Mexican community, and this is what I respect about other communities, right? The Mexican community, we know that the average Mexican man ain't making, hell, he probably ain't making $60,000 a year. He probably ain't even making 50. However, something about their culture, the women do not disrespect those men. Those men still get hold on. Those men, in most cases, still get a fairly decent, respectful woman because they will stay with them throughout all type of shit. They still get that. Asians,
I can agree with Asians.
They still get, but you know they get their money.
I agree with the Asians. I don't know about the Spanish community though. I haven't seen that. The Spanish girls, they wild out. They get their way. They spoiled. They get their way, and they wild out.
Yeah. Well, if they've been indoctrinated with American culture, then now I would say this: if any of them been indoctrinated with American culture, that's bound to happen. I don't give a fuck if you Asian. I don't care where you from. When you get over here, you fucked. And I'm telling you, I blame feminism. Because what it did was it took women away from the natural order in which things were supposed to happen when it comes to male-female relations, and it put them on the level of men. Not to be, because a lot of people think it was about equality and shit. When you hear what, I'm going to pull this video up. Aaron Russo had, he directed the film Trading Places. He said in his interview with Alex Jones, he had he spoke with Nicholas Rockefeller.
Oh, okay, I got you. Now
And in this interview, he was talking about women's lib. So, here, I'm going to pause. I'm going to pull this up. All right, back it up. All right.
Is that he was at the house one night, and we were talking, and he started laughing. He said, Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about?
Yeah, I remember this.
And I said, I had pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote. And he started to laugh. He said, you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded women's lib, And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, and you want to know why? He said, there were two primary reasons. And one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before women's lib. And the second reason was, now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. It breaks up the family.
Right.
The kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them.
That's right, and that's exactly what they doing.
So when I'm talking about this type of shit, what is the key element to destroying the family? You take the woman and put her at either the level of the man, so now she does not respect the man, and this is what you get. This shit show that we got going on today.
Well, I do agree. And we both, men and women, we both, it's not one or the other, it's together. Like if the man can't do his job.
It's true.
And the woman ain't doing her job, that's where we at right now. That's where we at.
Yeah, because I do want to say, I'm not advocating for either, but I have a lot of female friends, and I hear a lot of stories about the type of males who they deal with. I'm not going to say men, because
right.
I think we confuse an adult
male
for a man,
right?
And it's not.
Man, listen, dude. I noticed you. Look, I'm about to play devil's advocate. Y'all not gonna like me.
I like it.
Wait, you didn't let me finish.
You
go
might not
ahead,
like
go
us.
ahead.
My thing is like, women are big on leadership. As much as they won't admit it or say it sometimes, and sometimes they use it as an excuse, but I will honestly say that as a whole, men are not the leaders and providers
that they should be.
That they would like us to be.
Because we've been, man, dude,
It's a
men
system.
have been infeminized,
It's a
dude.
system.
They've been emasculated. They've been all of these years. What have you heard on TV? What do you see on TV? You see the husband being the bumbling idiot. You heard a guy that was being too masculine. Think about back when you watched Martin. What did Gina used to always say? You need to get in touch with your feminine side. They used to push this feminine shit on men, on masculine men. Now men have gone, all right,
I got a feminine.
I'm gonna fucking go ahead and do it.
I got a feminine side.
So now guys are coming out and because women always say, I've always heard this my whole life. You need to learn to be vulnerable. You don't have to be so tough or whatever. And it's like, what happens when a motherfucker's vulnerable?
You know what they probably should say instead of that, which maybe they didn't realize what they should have said. We want men to be honest about their truth. So sometimes when we say, "Oh, be vulnerable," or talk or whatever, it's like kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like we want, I can't speak for everybody, but when I say that to a man, I want you to give me that hard truth. Give me your truth, whatever that might be, and that can be vulnerable for a man.
It ain't just being emotionally expressive. That was something.
That's what I was getting
That
towards.
too.
Yeah.
After I got divorced, I didn't really understand how to, honestly.
Listen, I'm never gonna fucking express my emotions to no woman. I don't give a fuck. I ain't never. You know why? But I'm gonna tell you why.
Well, ain't
That's
nothing wrong with
not
it.
true.
There's nothing wrong
You do
with it, I
express
guess.
emotions.
I
You
don't
just
know.
pick and choose the ones you want to express.
If anything that makes me vulnerable, I don't fucking share it with nobody. Period. I don't share it with my wife. I don't share it with my mom. The only people that I may share it with is maybe my father.
So that can go into
Because
a
that's
different topic.
as a man, he'll get it.
I want to give a shout out to Richard. I wore my scarf today.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
almost wore mine too.
I wore my scarf today, because that was my dog. We hung out outside of school. That was
Yeah.
my homie.
Yes.
And talking about that,
Yeah.
goes back into the vulnerability stage.
It's hard for men to be vulnerable.
That's right. It's
This
hard.
All right. So at this time, I definitely want to send our condolences.
Right.
Us, the show. We want to send our condolences to a dear friend of ours who was a carpentry student with us at the institute. I'm not gonna say where we are,
Right.
but yeah. What was his last name?
Montoya.
So Richard.
Montoya.
I never called. I just called him Rich. I always called him Rich.
Richard too.
He self-deleted a few days ago. The causes why are still unknown. But we do send our condolences to he had boys, two boys.
Two sons.
He had two sons. We send our condolences to the family if this ever makes it their way. Yeah, he was a dear friend of ours. Great guy, funny. But
Lovable asshole.
he was
just because I got close to Richard, and we talked a lot. We used to go on lunch dates and we used to hang out. I used to meet up with him. We used to talk about different topics.
He was really cool, man. Like,
He was cool.
I
and he was
remember,
going. He had his challenges in life. What he was dealing with now, prior to now.
Yeah.
And just going back to that whole vulnerability thing with men,
Right.
I mean, it's a thin line.
And I gotta say, also we thank him for also serving our country because he was a serviceman. But to get deep into this, I said it to you earlier. You don't know what's going on inside the minds of men. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why men don't express themselves. Right. They done it one time. They tried it. I'm telling you, they tried it.
I agree.
And somebody made them feel this fucking big.
Right.
And you know what? That feeling he had, I'm not talking about him, but just men in general, that feeling we get, we go, yo, I don't ever want to feel like that again. Mm-hmm. I ain't telling nobody shit.
Right.
Man, it's better than being dead.
Maybe for somebody.
I feel every feeling possible if I'm still a fucking alive.
But so I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but there's been times where I've struggled, dude.
Me too.
And that thought,
you
it try to creep in.
You can understand where it comes from.
When I'm gonna tell you, man. Mm-hmm. When you take away a man's means of providing, or you take away a man's ability to be what he is, which is a man.
And I think that's what he was suffering with.
When you have nothing to live for, it's two things. When you take away a man's means of providing for his family, or a man that doesn't have a purpose, or who doesn't see a purpose, or don't see a way out of whatever dark tunnel he's in, men feel useless. When men feel useless, we don't try to get attention. We just go ahead and get that. When we feel like there's nothing else wow, I feel useless. I feel helpless. I feel hopeless. I don't know where to go. I'm not going to talk to nobody. I've tried talking to people. They don't get it. When you feel like a failure as a man, or somebody made you feel a certain way of taking something away from you that is important, your children, whatever the case may be. Dude,
That's right.
Listen, we got Dave Mirra, pro BMX bike rider, offed himself. He had a family. Chester Bennington, lead singer of Linkin Park, offed himself.
Green Ranger.
Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, divorced, was about to get all his shit taken from him, offed himself. Now our dear friend Richard, Twitch, the dancer.
Right.
Yep.
You think that these guys are okay.
Right.
You don't know what's going on inside the minds of men.
And I want to say, as a woman, you know, because I am, you know, pretty intentional, but with things like that, like, I try to be more understanding and compassionate and patient with men,
Yeah.
because y'all do try to give us y'all's truth, and sometimes we may not understand it.
Yeah.
Or it might not fit our plan and scenario, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as I've gotten older and I've been doing my own healing and trying to elevate and be a better woman, I make sure I'm more mindful about that type of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like I said, I like the hard truth. Give me the hard truth, because that way, you know,
You can develop.
Exactly. So women, you know, we got to do better at that. We got to be better at receiving truth and not taking everything so personal all the time, you know, because, I mean, I'm guilty of it. Shut up.
Yo, listen, man.
No, we appreciate that.
Listen, I gotta say, guys, Rosie is a fucking gem. I
Thank
love
you.
having her here.
Thank you.
I hope to see her more. But we're gonna close out this segment of RPG TV. And until next time, guys.
Peace.